Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the House of League. And here we are with our predictions episode. It's myself, James Smales, Josh McAllister, Matt Shaw. We're going to crack straight into it because Matt's getting a little bit hangry.
Hang on.
Not before he can mention what he got last week.
How many did I get right this last week?
No, we're cracking straight into it because you said you're really hungry. We're going to keep this
full house for those of you who tell me every week I don't know what I'm talking about. 6 out of 6, 100%.
But he copied my Warrington predictions.
fair
That's
enough.
my claim. I got 5 from 6.
I can't remember what I predicted last week. I'm just going to say I got 6.
Not
I don't
many.
know.
You definitely tipped
well,
Hull
tipped
FC.
Hull, yeah.
I did tip Hull FC. Yeah, disappointed with their performance again. They've got a big week coming up because they are back at home where they've not got a good record at all. But we'll come to them. Let's stick to our usual order. We'll start with a Thursday night game. Castleford Tigers against Huddersfield Giants. Cass really unlucky to not get over the line against Wigan. They got a little bit sloppy. I think it was fatigue. They looked out on the feet towards the end of the game. Wigan got at them. They'll be smarting. The Giants just didn't perform at all in France. How do we see this one?
It's impossible to predict because both teams have in patches been good recently, but neither of them seem capable of backing good performances up. Both have improved, but
Huddersfield don't have to back up a good performance.
Which kind of makes me want to sway towards Huddersfield because Castleford have played well, but they've never done it back to back.
Yeah,
Huddersfield the same, and Huddersfield, like you said, don't have to back it up. Huddersfield also have generally been better away from home, excluding Catalans. I don't know why. Just someone tells me I'm backing Huddersfield this week.
Okay.
And the other way, because Huddersfield were away in Catalans, they play on a Thursday night. It's such a short turnaround, and I think Luke Robertson has made everyone aware of the short turnaround. Castleford, I mean, when you're playing Wigan, you've got to stay alive to the 80th minute. Yes, as we talked before, there was that controversial call, but it was them essentially that let Zach Eckersley run in the inside against 5 defenders. Then they gave away a penalty to Jack Fireman, and then a moment that switches off and Jay Field gets through. You've got to play Wigan to the 80th minute, as Huddersfield learnt the hard way as well. But it's the Tigers for me because I think hopefully they'll build on that Wigan performance. I agree. Think it's too much of a turnaround for Huddersfield.
I agree. I'm going to rattle on and just say I agree with you, Josh, and disagree with the 6 out of 6 kid here. Moving on, Leigh in 4th place now against Wigan. In 2nd, we've just said about Wigan. I mean, they were far from the Wigan that we know against Castleford. Leigh, you did the game for us, Josh. I mean, a high scoring, I don't know what it was. It was like 128, 110 or something
12 tries,
to Leeds.
Yeah, there was 12 tries
against Leigh. Big scorers, I think, actually scored, 30 points, was it? Something like that. But still went down to Leeds. How do you see this one?
Yeah, the biggest blow for Leigh, and you said it, their main task was to keep their star fullback Armstrong on the field, and he came off, didn't come back for the second half. That's a huge blow. Although saying that, Bailey Hodgson, who was named as 18th man, when he's been given this chance, has been superb. Wigan, you see the performances they've had in a few weeks. You can see why some would tip Leigh, every chance they do win it. But for me, I think Wigan will go on and win this one.
Matt?
Don't want to back either of them.
You can tell that he's hungry, can't you?
Hungry.
Well, you're very much right about pointing out that Leigh conceded 48 to Leeds. Wigan conceded 20 to Cass, who haven't been prolific with the ball. So, still no Bevan French. I just don't think the play. Leigh are at home.
I think history shows that Wigan usually do the job over Leigh, don't they? Apart from that 1-0 in round 1, which probably are the Leeds' best performance
this one's not going to be a 1-0.
That's for sure.
You know what? I'm going to go Leigh. I'm going to go Leigh because Leigh, while I've had some poor performances, they've had some good. They are capable of playing as well. Where Wigan, I can't. I genuinely think I have to pretty much go back to Good Friday to the last time I thought Wigan played well.
We can kind of say it with Leigh and Wigan and other teams, isn't it? It depends what team turns up on the day.
No French, no Miskey. Marshall pulled out of the warm-up. I'm going to go Leigh.
You've spoilt that for me because I'm also going to go Leigh. And what I was going to say was I was kicking myself 2 weeks ago when we kind of said, I wouldn't be surprised if Wakefield won this. And I was like, I should have just tipped them. I'm going to actually tip Leigh. I think Leigh are going to win this one. But we'll see. Wigan just doesn't feel they are a champion team. They are obviously the champions. They can turn it on. I just don't get the sense at the minute they can flick the switch and just go from where they're at to being really good.
They've got too many good players out to do it, I think.
Yeah,
I think we are overlooking how many they've got out.
So I'm gonna go for Leigh. Also, next one, Salford, bottom of the table, against Warrington Wolves, who did what we said they needed to do. We said they needed to beat Hull FC to stay in the playoff hunt. They did it. Did it with a little bit of ease in the end as well. So they'll take some confidence from that. Because FC have been good away from home.
They were poor on that day. They were. But Warrington were particularly good. Kept their season alive. I actually thought in the first 35 minutes, I thought this might be one of the best Warrington performances of the season. And then maybe about half an hour, then they let Hull back into the game a little bit. I mean, this prediction, as we say every week, it speaks for itself, isn't it? It's a wire win. And that's huge for Warrington in terms of climbing up the table.
Yeah, they go back to back. And
real opportunity from now. Because they've got Salford, Catalans, Castleford, 3 of the bottom 4 next 3 weeks. They are all away. So, and Catalan look like they're improving. And Castleford have been improving. But this is, let's be honest, you play Salford at the minute, it's the nearest you're going to get to a gimme.
Yes.
If you're going to get in Super League, and has been for a long time. So, Warrington win.
So, 3 for Warrington. Takes me on to the next one. On Saturday afternoon, Hull FC at home, as I said, against St Helens, 6th against 5th. Saints had that easy run against Salford. They had the gimme last week. I think it's 130 odd points or something they've scored to nil against.
Well, they've played them 3 times, haven't they?
Salford.
It's more like 170 or something.
And I was bookending the first and the last, and it's about 130 odd nil.
Yeah.
Anyway. I digress. FC against Saints, how do you see this one? Now, FC were poor last week. They've not been good at home.
How long is it since they won at home?
It's since, I think...
Is it a year?
I could be corrected. I think it's when they beat Wigan, which is a year ago.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a mad stat.
I mean, they haven't played a lot of games at home. That's the other thing because of... there's been some safe standing installed at the MKM ahead of the football season. They always do work on the pitch every summer, so FC have this prolonged absence from home. And in that run, they've lost to Hull KR twice at home.
Lost to Wigan.
Lost to Wigan. Lost to Leeds.
They drew with Leigh,
Drew with Leigh. So they've had some tough games. Yeah. This ain't going to be easy, either those Saints at home. How do we see this one?
Yeah, they've also, lost to Cass at home.
Yes. And they were poor.
I'm not tipping them to win. I'm not, unfortunately. I just don't think they're playing well. I know they've picked up some wins here and there, haven't they? But they played well when they beat Leigh. I don't think they've played well since. They haven't played well. I think the Asiata absence is clear for all to see. Throw in Will Price as well. I think this Rapana's really struggling at fullback.
He had 80 minutes to forget.
He's just not playing well. He looks to me like he's trying too hard, Jordan Rapana. I'm really struggling to tip Hull at the minute. I just don't think they're playing well. And Saints have found some form, so I'll be going with Saints. I think it'll be close, but I think Saints.
At least you've not tipped Hull to make the playoffs ahead of St Helens. Josh?
That'll be getting used up on a clip by St Helens at the end of the year, maybe. I'm aware that we have a Hull FC fan that comments every week saying that we don't seem to back his team. Now, we must back his team sometimes, but on this occasion, I'm also going.
Well, I backed them last week, and look where it got me.
He might not have commented last week.
We all tipped him to beat Cass, and look where that got us.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for St Helens. And this is a huge weekend for St Helens, because if the other results go their way in terms of Leeds, who will come up with it, and Leigh, I think they can climb up to third.
Yeah.
And they can really, if Saints win this game, they more go with Leigh and Leeds rather than Hull FC, Wakefield.
Yeah, they're moving to a new bracket.
Yeah, they do.
You got the top 2 and then the next 3, and then it's everybody else kind of in that race.
Where if they lose, they drag themselves back into that.
Yeah, and I agree with you too. I don't see Saints losing this one. I just FC just don't look right, do they? Without Price and Asiata at all. Wakefield at home in 8th, playing Catalan Dragons in 9th. Catalan, who, if anyone just seen, just sacked the coach, Steve McNamara, this week officially, despite him leaving 6-7 weeks ago.
I think 40 days, I think I saw. 40 days.
Is it 40 days?
That's crazy.
Anyway, crazy. Wakey lost against Solskjaer. They did well in the first half. They just ran out of steam. They got no middles. They just couldn't maintain that, and also lost no half-back as well, just to throw into the mix. They're doing it really tough at the minute. Catalan will probably be sniffing a little bit of blood because of that.
And, since Tompkins came back, I know they lost to Leigh, but they were way better. Way better. They lost by about 12 in the end, didn't they? But it was a good game for the majority. They thumped Huddersfield, which I know isn't like a major result, but for where they've been, it was a major result. So I think there's some improvement in Catalan. Wakefield, I think Jake Truman's fine. I think he'll play. But they're still without those middles, and Catalans have a big pack. Given I've backed Wakefield to make the playoffs, I've got to back them to win this game because these are the games they have to win and make the most of to make it. But I could, a bit like what we said when Wakefield beat Wigan, we wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Catalan won this game. I'm
going to go before Josh, just so I don't look like I'm following everyone again. I'm going Catalan to win this one. What are you going, Josh?
So I'll flip a coin. I think I'll go with Wakefield. But speaking of keeping seasons alive, the Catalans win. They're not miles and miles ahead. There's 11 regular games left. Yeah, behind the top six.
If they were to beat Wakefield and Hull were to lose to Saints, suddenly they are back in the picture.
Yeah.
After being ruled out a couple of weeks ago, given everything that's going on, they find some consistent form now and build up some wins, and they can climb up the table as well. Like Warrington, they've kept the season alive.
That'd be really good for us if Catalan won in 9th and kept the season alive, because that would help that pod that we did all of last week when we said it was a top 7 race.
Sport, anything can change.
That would stand up really well and hold up against the test of time.
Change the headline.
But after I said all that, I'm going to go with Wakefield because I'm just scared of their media team. Not really. I do think they have enough.
I still was really impressed with Wakefield on Friday. I know the result blew out in the end, but that first half they were great.
They were really good. Really good. They was really good, and we enjoyed watching. We enjoyed it before the game. We met some Wakey fans, didn't we?
Did you enjoy?
We had some good feedback.
Craven Street. Did you have some food?
We did.
It was all going so well. We got some really nice.
I actually said to Matt, we've been in Craven Street for 15 minutes. And everybody who we met kept coming up to us and shaking hands and saying, look, really enjoying the pod. And it was I said to Matt, let's get out of here now because it's going really well and it won't last. It just won't last.
And then?
Because one, we're not that good. One, we're not good. But two, it just won't last.
And then we were in the press box. We got back to safety. And some fella was walking past. And did you offer to hold his drink because it was a tight squeeze?
He had to climb over something, and I just said, "Would you like me to hold your drink?" I cannot repeat what he said.
Wow, as bad as that?
It was along the lines of
black and white something.
Yes. Wow. You can do one.
Well, it turns out you weren't safe anywhere then.
To which point Matt was in tears, almost rolling on the floor under the desk.
I hope this person's a listener.
So
superb view.
Yeah. It was.
If that guy does watch, thank you. You made my night.
It was a fun night. I'm hoping he meant it in jest. It was taken in jest.
It didn't seem in jest to me.
I took it in jest.
From his side.
Anyway, let's talk about the actual game. Hull KR at home against Leeds. This should be a good game. It's Sunday, this one, isn't it?
It is.
I'm day off on Sunday. I was going to say I might come down, but clearly I'm not wanted down there, so I don't know if I will. No, this should be a cracker, especially sun's out. Nice weather, nice hard fast track. Leeds Leeds will come there. They're not going to come fancying chances thinking we've got this. But they'll back themselves.
They'll really fancy it.
Yeah, they'll back themselves and think we can win this.
They should have beat them early in the year.
Yeah.
Should have beat them early in the year. They'll really fancy this. I know they had a blip against Saints, but by and large, we've been playing well. You can just imagine Jake Connor, XLFC, leading man of steel, up against Mike. He's gonna fancy this, isn't he? He's gonna want.
And Leeds are because of the way KR play, and they're patient, and they're happy to just grind it out and to grind opposition down. Leeds can do that as
Leeds
well,
are good
though.
at that as well.
That's Brad
And
Arthur's tactic,
that's the kind of what I'm interested to see in this is that clash of styles, the way they both match up together.
Yeah. Of the other teams in Super League, barring Wigan, the team that I think styles-wise is most capable of beating Hull KR is Leeds. But this great start that I can't get over. Hull KR go into this game that have now gone a full calendar year unbeaten against every side other than Wigan, which is just bonkers. 31 wins out of 34, all 3 losses to Wigan. At home, where they just hardly ever lose. They've only lost 1 game in a year at home. Top of the league, flying high. Let's not forget Leeds, while they did win and score a lot of points, they conceded 30. Against a Hull KR side that's scoring points for fun, that on courts that absolutely smash the Super League defensive record. We said it last week, you'd be beyond brave to back against Hull KR right now, and I won't be backing against Hull KR here.
Josh is the man.
I've listened to Matt practice that speech about 10 times now. It delivered it perfectly on Hull KR. Leeds might even fancy it, looking at the Super League table. That second spot, given Wigan and where they're at and their performances, there's every chance, another one that if results go their way, they'll just reduce it to 2 points between them and second, and it's a home semi-final. That's huge at the end of the year. But having said that, you can't go against the current Super League leaders, can you? So I'm going to go with Rovers.
I agree. Yeah, you can't go against them. You can't. That's not to say Leeds can't win. And again, it's another one of those. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
If there was a game Hull KR were going to lose between now and playing Wigan in August, I would think this is the one. But they're just playing that well. I keep thinking they're going to have to drop off. They can't play this well for as long as they are doing, but they keep doing it. And there's no real sign of a wobble.
Yeah, and we discussed it before the game on Friday night when we said, look at the players that they've got out. I think we named 5 key players that Rovers have got out. But that side looks really strong.
Well, there's no
really strong.
There's no Gildart, Warrior Hargreaves, McAlorum, Batchelor.
Yeah. There was one more.
You've got.
I think we were missing another one.
No, I think that's it. So you've got 4, but you've got 4 players there that definitely start.
Yeah.
That are all out.
And look how strong they were.
And they still look
That's
good.
probably the biggest compliment to Hull KR is they've just got a fantastic squad beyond that 17. I mean, you lose Batchelor and Reece Martin comes back. Now, it's a bit ironic that you want them both at the same time. Yeah. But that was he just fills in straight away for his first return since March. They've just got the almost, near perfect squad, a brilliant squad.
Yeah. Right. Enough of the Hull KR loving, because, after the way I was treated...
You'll be accused of being a Hull KR fan. Where are you going? Showing up at Craven Street on his day off.
Twice, potentially.
It's just a really good place to go watch rugby league.
It is.
And they're playing some really good rugby league. So
I remember the other week you said you know people that would go and watch both Hulls. I didn't realise you were talking about yourself at that time. Let's
bring the show to an end there. Thanks for being with us, as always. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you take... some knowledge there for when you're having your bets this week. If you do bet, and you'll just go against everything that we've said, and then
6 out of 6.
You'll normally go against everything we said, and you normally get set for a win. But listen, rambling on. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back next week with our normal show on Monday, and we'll be back with another preview show as well, also next week. Until then, cheers everybody.